I try to always tell people animation is also film. It's just a different style of deciding to tell a story. We promised our audience that every year we're going to make sure we come out with a production. And that's a very big challenge we've thrown to ourselves.
Do you guys understand the kind of work that actually went into this? It's amazing.
I call it our Christmas gift to our audience, and that's why we're even screening it for free. We try as much as possible to use our films to push the African narrative as much as we can. We have our own streaming platform. We're creating content for that platform to be able to be accessed by everybody globally.
If anyone was hoping they would get spoilers from this interview, I'm sorry. You have to make your way to the National Theatre on 29th and watch for yourself. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to AJ for Short. You know how we do it every single time we have an industry person in the building. And today I'm excited. I'm sure you're wondering why you're excited, because this particular guest is someone that I've been hoping to have the opportunity to have a conversation with. And I think the timing is just right now. And I'm grateful that he has taken a bit of time out of his busy schedule to, have this conversation with us. And also because another project of his is coming out. So I'm not going to bore you too much with a lot of talk. My name, as you know, is Alice Johnson, or if you didn't know, Alice Johnson, AJ for short, and you're welcome to the channel. If this is your first time watching, it's basically a channel dedicated to African content, film, theater, and the likes, and just everything that has to do with content in Africa and projecting Africa, just putting Africa on the map. And I do this every single week, so definitely subscribe to the channel and be a part of it. So let's go straight into the bio of my special guest, and then we'll be back to it.
Born in Accra, Ghana, Jessie Sunkwa-Mills is a filmmaker, animator, creative director, and entrepreneur with a Bachelor of Arts degree in graphic design from the University of Education, Winneba. Jessie's passion for animation, comics, games, and design led him to found Mills Media in 2016, a full-service creative firm that offers services such as animation, illustration, graphic design, web, and game development. Under the Mills Media umbrella, Jessie has produced and directed several creative productions for individuals and top institutions, both locally and internationally, including the recent release of the most talked about 3D animation film about the legendary Nana Yaa Asantewaa, which features Ghana's award-winning actress Nana McBrown in December 2022, which was a big cinema hit, selling over 5 cinema halls on the day of the premiere. The movie was recently selected and exhibited at the Annecy Film Festival for 2023 in France, which happens to be the biggest animation film festival in the world. It also recently won the award for the Best Animation at the Accra Indie Film Festival, won the Best Animation at the African Indigenous Language Film Festival, and also walked away with the prestigious Africa Narrative Change Award at the Africa International Film Festival, AFRIF, in Lagos, Nigeria. Jessie is also an executive of the Animators Association of Ghana under the Ghana Academy of Film and Television Arts.
So you heard it all, you read it all, you saw it all. My guest today is Mr. Jessie Sunkwa-Mills, and he is the... No, you know what? I'm not going to tell you who he is. I mean, you heard it in the bio. I'm just going to leave him to it. So thank you so much for joining us today, Jessie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, AJ. I'm excited to be here.
And we are very excited to have you here, especially because your project has been doing the Lord's work, going around making Ghana proud, and we are really honored to have you here. And then also we are excited because there's another project of yours coming out on the 29th. That is going to be premiered on the 29th of December, at the National Theatre. But before we get into the new project, let's delve a bit into your journey as an animator or someone who is, you're a creative director, you are a filmmaker, you are in the animation business. Just give us a brief on that, even though we heard a bit in the bio, but how has the journey been as an animator till now?
Yeah, thank you once again for having me. It's exciting to be here and to get the chance to talk about my film and my journey as an animator. I would say it's been very exciting. It's been an exciting journey and experience for me. I've loved animation for I don't know how long, ever since I was just a boy and I got the chance to see it, and we would all rush from school. I remember just to go watch Cartoon Network. Yes, and I'd always been fascinated about how I would see these characters move on the screen and how they get them to talk and the whole science behind animation. I've always been fascinated about that, and I'd always wanted to know what it was about, what went into making animated films and all. So it was up until I entered the university that I really got exposed to what went into, or the science behind animation, if I should say. Yeah. So that's where I got to understand the tools that were used in making animation and all of that. Yes. So yeah, I mean, it's really been exciting, but it's a lot more exciting in recent times because when I was studying animation in the early years till now, because of technology, you could see there's been lots of advancements in the tools. So there's a lot more easier access than back then. Yes. So I tell people it's really exciting times right now to be in the space. Yes. So
Absolutely. When you say easier and like with the tools being easier in recent times, are you talking a bit on the AI side of things, and how beneficial is AI right now to someone who's an animator?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are complaining that, oh, AI is coming to take our jobs and everything. But for you to say it's exciting times, can you shed some light on that?
Okay, so when I say exciting times, even before the introduction of AI, it was quite expensive to get into animation. Expensive in the sense that the tools or the software used for animation was quite expensive. You'd have to spend thousands of dollars just on particular software. I mean, it still is, but then there are other substitute softwares that are able to equally do superb jobs. And some of these software are actually free. They're open source software, which we didn't have back then. Yes, so that's what I meant by it's a lot easier than as compared to back in the days. And then also with the conversation about AI, I like to say, or I like to think that AI is rather going to be a tool to empower us as creatives or as artists. We just need to know how to tap into the AI space, because I think whether we like it or not, AI has come to stay. So the best thing is to rather get with the flow and see how best AI can help you do better stuff. So AI also has helped to, make animation less, maybe for lack of better word, difficult as back then. So now, even with the tools that we use, there's been some introduction of AI elements in there as time goes by, where, let's say, a practical example, if you wanted to create a scene with a huge crowd, back then it was there's a lot of technicalities that had to go into it, but with the introduction of certain AI plugins and, elements in there, it's a lot more easier. So you have a shorter time to do right. So I would say that there has been quite a lot of good sides of the introduction of AI in our space. So you just need to know how to make it work to your advantage, if you should ask me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And viewers, if you're watching this before the 29th, know that you are just in time and you need to start getting ready for a production that is going to shake you, because I quite remember a year ago on the 10th of December. Yes, on the 10th of December, 2022, I was at the National Theatre. No, that was at the Silverbird Cinemas.
Silverbird Cinemas, yes. Silverbird,
yes. I was at the Silverbird Cinemas, and I was excited to see Yaa Asantewaa for many reasons, because this is not something that is too common especially in Ghana. I mean, in the Ghanaian animation scene. So we're really excited. A whole feature animation, wow! And not only that, it's about something that a story that we've been told over and over again, but now we get to see it in true form and sold out. 5 cinema halls, like the pressure. I mean, I had to hustle my way through because at a point people came in and then it was just crazy. Everybody was like trying to get the chance to watch. And tell us that, did you ever expect that your first official, correct me if I'm wrong, but like your first official feature animation that you produce and then you put it out there and then you receive such amazing feedback? Tell us how did you take it all in?
I mean, I can't. I'm not sure I can describe the feeling because it was very unexpected. It was overwhelming. But yes, you're right. That was our very first feature film, a proper film that we took to see, and it was the first of its kind. It's never happened for a feature 3D animated film to go to cinema and also go on to sell out the entire Silverbird cinemas. And if you ask the managers, they will tell you that they were saying a local production that had never sold out the entire cinema on the day of production and still have so much overflow that we had to, keep screening, even on the weekend, the whole weekends. And there was popular requests for us to come back with it and all. Yeah, so I would be lying if I said I knew that was what the outcome was going to be. We had actually, so here's the thing, we actually planned for just a hall. And even the management of the cinema didn't actually believe that we were going to be able to sell that one hall. Because like you're saying, this is not something that is common. So they also weren't sure that Ghanaians were actually going to show up in their numbers or they were going to be excited to come see an animated film made by Ghanaians, And the day comes and we had sold out the entire hall. We actually had to quickly change our plans because we had like a program lined up for the whole day, and we filled one hall and we set up to start doing our thing, and we realized it was chaos outside. So yeah, they actually had to even empty other halls that were already screening other films. I remember
I think
exactly. Black Panther was screening back then, yeah. So they had to, empty the halls quickly and fill it up with people who had come to see us. And because there was like so many people, it was overwhelming. I couldn't control my emotions. But that only, I mean, I shed a little tears, but yeah. But that only was a testament, or it showed or it proved to us that Ghanaians actually have been yearning for, content like this for a while, and they just weren't, getting it. So once they saw something like this, they showed up in their numbers, and it's a lie if anyone tells you Ghanaians are not interested in animation. It's a big lie. They actually are, and they are even a lot more excited about it when they know it's done right here in their country by their own people. And yeah, I mean, they loved it. And I think one thing too that also helped make this big also was we featuring one of our renowned actress in the industry, Nana McBrown. That was like a big boost for the film. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people were wondering, the whole dynamics behind having her voice on an animated film feature. They were just wondering how it was going to turn out, and it turned out amazing. People didn't believe that the production was actually done here. So I actually had to introduce my team that day just so that they see that, they some were thinking we had some foreign, people work on it, but it was all like an all Ghanaian team. Yeah, so it was really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could tell from the way you were speaking, I mean, there was a little session, was a Q&A session after the screening. So I was in that hall, the first one that showed it, because I pushed look, I was not joking. When I went there, I said, what's going on here? 1, 2, 3, within 5 minutes, the whole place was just full. I was like, no, what's going on? But something happened. I think everybody was moving toward the ticket side. And I saw one of the guys opening there. I was like, I told my friend that this is where it's happening. So we have to stand near the door. The moment they said, okay, it's open. Everybody was just running up and down. Look, I had to see it. And it did not disappoint. Kudos to the whole team for putting this together. I can only imagine how many hours, days, weeks, I remember you said that day that there was a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of hard work. And we are happy that we are seeing all the good things that are coming out of it, because Accra Indie Film Festival, then we have, recently, a lot more, but then quite recently we had you win the award at AFRIF. Tell us about that.
Also, yes. I knew Asantewaa would do well, and that's why I was willing to risk spending close to a year working on it without doing any other jobs or side gigs, because this, like I said, was the first of its kind. We also had to make sure it was going to work. So then we had to spend like 3-4 months prior just experimenting what was going to work and what wasn't going to work, because I couldn't have us spend like an entire year and then this doesn't work. That's like waste of funds and resource and human power and all of that. Yeah. So and it eventually did work. It just went beyond our expectations. And right after the screening, like you said, it's gone on to do so well. We got some festival recognitions and some international screenings of outside as well. Not all of the festivals actually do like award
schemes or
ceremonies and all. They just do screenings, yes. So it's gotten several official screenings where the film has been screened for an entire festival. We also, earlier this year in June, attended the biggest animation film festival in France. Yes, Annecy in France. Yeah, where we got to showcase it. And even they were amazed that, a production like this could come, from Africa. And it's been amazing since then. And like I was saying, the recent biggest one for me was the award from AFRIF. And we honestly didn't think we were going to win, anything. We were just excited about the fact that it was nominated there in the first place. Being part of the entire festival was a very exciting experience. And I tell fellow filmmakers and producers that AFRIF, I think, is a festival everyone should experience, because, it gives you the exposure, the chance to connect and, network with other prominent, stakeholder or industry players. Yes, so it was exciting for us. Then we eventually won the African Narrative Change Awards that was sponsored by Africa No Filter, and it came with some cash prize of $5,000. And the exciting thing about it, not even just the cash prize, but the fact that the film was in the same category with other live action films that were on Netflix, but it still went on to win that award. And that meant so much to me. So they didn't just, give us the award, but they felt like that the film, met all the requirements that they had for that particular category. They felt like it was an ambitious project. The fact that we used animation to try and push and tell the African story and the African, culture, and they thought that was amazing. And that's how come we we won. And it was the only film that was left in the entire festival. from Ghana. So yeah.
Yes. Which is amazing. So congrats to you, your team as well, and thank you so much for doing this for Ghana, because representation matters. I mean, for anyone watching now who wants to go into animation but has not got any references and is wondering what can become of my ambition, know that once you put in the work, once you just focus on telling the stories that are authentic to who you truly are, you definitely will sail through. So congrats to you on that. Now, I mean, we are talking about the good things. We're talking about how, it sold out, it did this, it did that. But of course, it couldn't have come without challenges. Let's delve into that a bit now. How easy or difficult was it for you to fund the project? Because, I mean, having people in a particular area for a while, that's a lot of funds. I mean, human resource, we're talking about finances, we're talking about, utilities, you're talking about just the manpower, the human resource basically, and the fact that you have to get people who are dedicated to your vision, because you are basically the one who sees it in your mind's eye that this is what I want to achieve. But how do you get people to even buy into that idea? So can you tell us from just your crew members, and then also seeking help from sponsors or people who were to invest in the project, how easy or difficult was it for you?
I was getting this question like the whole time. Even when we went to France, they were asking me that question. They actually assumed that we had some sort of support or funding from our government. So they were asking how much our government and and they were surprised to find out that we had no support like that. But we didn't have any external funding. Yeah, this was all in-house, and just like you described, our system. That's how our studio operates, or that's how my studio operates on a regular basis. All the creatives are housed, in-house, and we work, almost all the time. It's like a home when you come here. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like a workplace or a studio, and that's like the whole idea. And but it wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy. It's required lots of money, and we tried getting some support externally, but it had always been the problem of people not seeing, because it hasn't been done yet. It was hard for them to believe that this was even going to work in the first place. So that was a challenge, and no one was actually ready to fund anything of the sort. So then we actually tried to start getting funds from as far back as 2019, 2020. We were part of the presidential pitch series, and so when I realized funding was never going to come, I just had to do this, myself. But my studio, also aside from animation, we're also into other creative services as well. So we're into graphics, we're into web development, we do motion graphics and other stuff. So, and even print management. So usually what happens is whatever profits that is made from these other services, and also we were making animated commercials for clients, which came with some, funds. So whatever funds that we got from there now goes back into producing the film. So yes, we're literally putting everything back. But when people ask me, I'm saying that's something I'll do over and over and over again. I never regretted making that decision. That was like one of the best decisions I ever made. It was really tough. It got to a point where you would even feel like maybe taking a break or holding on till maybe you get some funding. Yeah, it was hard, but thankfully I've got a good team. They're awesome. They also saw what could become. So we just had to, gradually and painfully just go through the rest of the months and just see this through. And that's how come at the end, our emotions were all over because we knew how much pain had gone into this, and it's paid off. But I would say people now see what we're able to do. They see the potential. They see what can come out of, productions like this. So now it's actually a little easier when you're trying to talk someone into looking at investing into this area because of what Asantewaa has done. We have something to fall back on, something to make reference to, yeah. But then it's still not that easy to get people to fund you. Yeah, funding has always been the number one challenge for animators and even filmmakers, everywhere. So, but yeah, if you ask me, the number one challenge was, we being able to raise funds for this.
Absolutely. And just for anyone who's watching who probably doesn't have an idea of what goes into animation, probably they just see moving images, they don't really understand the technicalities. Can you give us like a time frame, how long it took you to do pre-production, how long was pre-production, how long was production itself, and then post as well?
Okay, so in recent times, our workflow and our turnaround time has become better and a lot more faster than before. But Asantewaa took us close to a year. We finished production in November. Pre-production took us, say, 3 months. Yes, 3 to 4 months. And then the production itself took us about 6 months. Yes, production and post took us 6 months. And then, so close to a year to, put all of that together.
Do you guys understand the kind of work that actually went into this? It's amazing. It's amazing.
A lot of work. A lot of work goes into it. So here's the thing. I try to always tell people, animation is also film. It's just a different style of deciding to tell a story. Yeah, but people think animation is, a different genre. So no, it's film. Yes. In recent times, when you look at what's going on your Netflix and stuff, the shows that come out, you see them in animated, style, and you think this could also work for live action. The only difference is with live action, you set up a camera, you get people to act, and then that's it. With animation, it goes through a much more rigorous process than live action, but then it has all the live action, procedures in there as well, like the pre-production, production, post-production. You put your script, your screenplay together. All of that is in animation. And even animation, you even do a bit more. So there's storyboarding, where you put pictures to the dialogues of the screenplay, and then you even do animatics, and then you put your sound underneath just to make sure everything works well before you move on to actually doing the animation proper. And then when you're done animating, you go on to something we call texturing. Texturing is where you apply, color, textures of the cloth, of the skin and everything. And then from there, you move on to rendering what you've textured, like, yes. And then you do proper post. So there's quite a lot that has to go into it, yeah.
Wow, so a lot really goes into production, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said it, or you mentioned that animation is filmmaking. You are making characters bring a story to life. You are shooting them, and I know a little bit about animation. I don't know much, but I know that you have to even pick the right camera angle when you animate a character. You have to choose which angle they are coming from. So you're basically a director trying to see the scene. And so it's a whole lot of
rules apply. Yeah.
Absolutely, the same rules apply. So guys, you should know that production in itself is tax. So whenever you see even a 2-minute animation, give credits to whoever put the work together, because they're all working together just to produce those 2 minutes. So how much more a feature-length film? So thank you for sharing some of the challenges, and we hope that in months and weeks, years to come, it will be an easier conversation. Hopefully, we'll get more institutions coming on board to invest in our creativity. Things are much better now. Things are much better now as compared to even last year or 2 years ago. So we are grateful, but we hope that it gets much better and only gets better from here. So now let's delve into your new project, Rise. So I saw some snippets. There were some snippets you posted on your social media just before you announced the date of release, and then I saw that I've just been able to see a bit about it, and then I know that it's about someone who is physically challenged. So tell us more about this project, Rise.
Rise, it's a short film, but when people ask the duration and I say we're going to get something a little beyond 20-25 minutes, and they're like, that's not a short film. when I mean, for animation, because the work that goes in, but we still think it's a short film, because we promised ourselves that we were only going to upgrade from what we've done with Asantewaa, and we promised our audience that every year we're going to make sure we come out with a production. And that's a very big challenge we've thrown to ourselves. But the whole point is we want to create, some sort of craving and love for Ghanaian animated content. So when audience have something to look out for every year, gradually we're going to, yes, exactly. And our industry is still a young one. It's still growing. There are other studios who are also, putting in the work, and we're trying. So that's why we are calling that a short film, even though it's going to be like beyond 20 minutes. But hopefully next year we're doing something way longer. We could only do 20 plus this year because the successes of Asantewaa meant that we had to be traveling around doing festivals and even brought in a lot of gigs for us to do. So then it meant we didn't have so much time to work on our personal in-house projects, which is also important because we need those gigs to keep the lights on. But yes, exactly. So back to Rise. Rise is, like I said, a short film, and the whole story is centered around a young boy who is physically challenged, like you said, and it follows his, life and how he has this dream of his, but then he still doesn't let the fact that he's physically challenged, come in the way of his dreams and what he really wants to, get or achieve one day. So it's if you ask me, it's just a regular feel-good motivational story, just to tell you to, push and reach your goals no matter your circumstances and all. So this film, I call it our Christmas gift to our audience, and that's why we're even screening it for free. People ask why we're screening this for free because we're paying for space and everything. But yes, we just wanted to give this out. We were thinking of screening it online, before, but then we also wanted that physical interaction and engagement with our audience as well, just so they get to know us a lot more. And that's why we're moving it to the Folks Place at National Theatre to screen it. And we hope audience will show up in their numbers like they did for Asantewaa. It's a beautiful film, and when you see the quality in the rendering, you would see that there's been a lot of upgrade from what we did with Asantewaa. And if you've seen Asantewaa, and I'm telling you that there is, an upgrade for what you've seen at the Asantewaa, then you should know what to expect when the day comes here. So, yeah, basically it's a feel-good motivational story about the young boy who is physically challenged, and we follow his life and his story and how he still doesn't let that get in his way of reaching his dreams. Yes, I don't want to put too much out there when you see.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly. I was just going to say.
when I begin to say, yeah, when I begin to say certain things, you start to put two and two together, and you know how. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just going to say, please, what you've told us is enough. We'll come and watch it, yes, and we definitely have to watch it. If you're watching
Yeah.
this video before the 29th, it's definitely showing at the National Theatre, 29th
Yes.
of December 2023. So, and it's free. Like he mentioned, it's their Christmas gifts to us. And we are receiving it with open arms. And I would urge you all, the same way we supported Asantewaa, we should all go in our numbers and support this project as well. Because, look what Asantewaa did for us, for Ghana. What more can be done with the project that comes after Asantewaa? We can only wait to see all the amazing things that are going to come out of this project as well. So please come in your numbers, come support the project as we enjoy it on the 29th of December. And just quickly before we wrap up, because I know you're a very busy person, I'll just want to ask what inspired that story, even though you mentioned the kind of lesson to get out of it. What inspired this particular story?
I'll say it's a blend of some personal experience, and we've always made it a point that we're going to put out a production every year. So we usually like to share ideas as a team. I'm always talking to my team because they're always in-house. It's easier to, bounce ideas off each other. And so it's a story that, came from a real life experience, basically. And from conversation, it came up with, so one team member saw a boy who had lost his leg, and he was on a field with other kids who were playing. They were kicking footballs around, some were running, some were doing other things, and he was on the floor because he wasn't able to move around because he lost his leg. And you could tell from his eyes that he really wished he could move around and play and run like, those kids, but he couldn't. And personally, myself, to my best friend broke his leg earlier this year, and he couldn't do all the things he was able to do, before. He had to stay home for close to 5 months, I think. And I would speak to him, and he was literally crying at times. Like he would always talk about how he's not able to do the things he could do anymore. He would have to lie in a certain position throughout the day. Someone had to shower for him because he couldn't shower anymore. And sometimes those little things makes you realize how life can be, so vulnerable. And when certain things happen, it just dawns on you. But in all of that, I would always speak to him to not lose hope. He felt like he wasn't probably going to walk again. And, for a man to be talking to you on phone and he's crying, that says a lot. So, it's like I said, it's like a blend of some personal experiences, and that's how the story, came out. And we're like, why don't we tell a story around that line where, we try to use that to encourage people that no matter what you may be going through, whether it's an amputated leg, whether it's a challenge, not necessarily a physically challenged situation, but any sort of challenge at all, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And we should just, always have the belief that no matter what happens, you shouldn't let any adversaries get into your way. So that's how the story came about, and you love it. I really don't want to give too much away.
We don't do spoilers here.
We try as much as possible to use our films to push the African narrative as much as we can. So even though this is more of like a feel-good motivational story, it's still, when you see the visuals, when you see the pictures, it still shows you Africa, it shows you Ghana, it shows you, like, you can really relate with the scenes and the pictures you would see in there. So, and that's the whole point, yes. Yeah.
I was just going to say that if anyone was hoping they would get spoilers from this interview, I'm sorry. You have to make your way to the National Theatre on 29th and watch for yourself. And indeed, there's light at the end of every tunnel. And thank you for such a great message. I think we all need this message because times are not as easy as they used to be. So I think it's definitely timely. And of course, many of us would be able to relate, if not all of us. So I would urge you all to show up on the 29th. Let's support this project. Let's watch it. And then, just have a good time and also get inspired. So finally, to end this session, even though I wish we could go on and then talk more, but
myself, it's exciting.
Exactly. So for instance, someone who was watching this interview has not seen Asantewaa. And not seen Asantewaa. If you've not seen Asantewaa, you have to see it. So how then does someone access Asantewaa to watch?
Yes. So that's one thing we've thought about ahead of time, thankfully, and it's actually one of the challenges we have, not just in the animation space, but I'll say in our film industry in general, and that has to do with distribution. So usually when you put out a film and it does the usual cinema rounds and you're done and you do the festivals and all of that, it's not quite easy, especially when you're a producer or a creator from Ghana, to get it on these international platforms like your Netflix and your Amazons and all of that. We're still getting there, but it's taking some time. You see productions from Ghana and it takes sometimes a year or two or even more before it lands on these international platforms. So we anticipated that, and because of that, we have our own streaming platform. Before, we were thinking of just having that for ourselves, but then we realized how big this could become, especially when we traveled, when we were in France, in Nigeria, and people saw the platform and they were like, this is huge, or this could be huge. So we're opening it up to other African animators to also be able to put on their content, because not all creators or animators are able to do feature length like we did, but then they're able to do short stuff, but they should also be able to put it on a platform where it can be accessed by everybody globally and still make something out of it. Yeah. So the platform will now allow other African creators and animators to be able to put their content on there. So it doesn't matter if it's a lengthy one or a short one. If it's still good and people would love it, we're still going to put it on there, and it's going to be accessed by everybody. Yes, so, and it's a pay-per-view platform. So then when people see it, you, the artist, also gets to make something in return. So we don't have to sit and wait for a Netflix or an Amazon Prime to put it on their space before we're able to, and it's quite a robust and secure platform. So you're not able to screenshot the content, you're not able to screen record it. It's not only, and it's not only for animated videos, but then we've got African comics and books as well. It has wallpapers. So some artists are just wallpaper artists, they can get that too, and then some games as well. So that app is actually like a bigger side of things that we're doing. So we are not just creating content, but then we're creating like content for that platform to be able to be accessed by everybody globally from everywhere, because you've had people say, you guys make the films and we don't get to see it.
Exactly.
And we can't just, yes, and we can't just also drop them on YouTube, because a lot of resource has gone into this. And you know, with YouTube, you're not able to make as much as you would expect, because you even have several hundreds of thousands of views and it's still just a little. Yes. And we really need a lot of resource and funding to be able to be still producing content like this. So that's how a platform like this better suits what we do. So, you know, when people are watching, and it's very, very cheap. When you go on the platform now, and it's funny that we're having this interview. The update we ran on the app was literally approved just this morning by Apple. So the app is live. You can, yes, exactly. We just haven't officially announced. Yeah, we just haven't officially announced it yet, but we'll be doing that in a few days. But when you see this interview, when you go on there, you will be able to watch Asantewaa, and for a very, very, very low fee, you can watch Asantewaa for 2 days for as low as 3.99 cedis if you're watching from Ghana. Yeah, that's how, you know, and if you're watching from outside Ghana, let's say Europe or something, you're paying with a PayPal or whatever, you can watch for as low as $2.99 for 2 days. So you're able to rent the movie for 2 days, you're able to rent it for 7 days, and you're able to rent it for a month. Exactly, yes. So that's how you guys can also support us, by streaming, so that we'll be able to, you know, make more of this. So yeah, if you want to watch Asantewaa, just download the Afrotales Plus app, Afrotales Plus, on iOS and on Play Store, and then you can just, you know, enjoy. Yes. So after Rise comes out, it would also be on the platform. But for the meantime, when you go at Asantewaa, you'll be able to enjoy it, and some other films from other animators as well. Yes.
Exciting times, really, really exciting times. Thank you so much. Like, this is really exciting. I'm happy to hear. I had no idea about the app, but here we are. And I was really concerned with access, because we don't just want it to be on any platform. Yes, we just don't want it to, because it has done the Lord's work and we need it to continue in that stride. So I'm excited to hear about Afrotales. And I'll definitely put the link in my description. I'm sure by the time the video comes out, the link is going to be in my description. You're also going to see the trailer of Rise as well. So keep it logged. And yes, thank you so much for your time. It's a great way to end this interview, knowing that there is hope. And like you said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We are really excited. And I'm sure if there's anybody watching right now who is an animator and has something that they would like to put on, how easy is it for them to get their content on this Afrotales?
They'll just have to reach out to us, send us an email or maybe a phone call, and send the work. When we review it and it's good, we'll just, you know, put it on there, and it's not too much of a lengthy process. Yeah. So once the content is good, trust me, we will definitely put it on. And there's money. It's not just, like I said, it's not just the film. So if you're a very good wallpaper artist, you can, you know, if you've got a very good African comic book, you can also bring it on there. So the more people we get on the app, the more money it makes for you, the artist, and it's in real time. So we're also having a system where if you're an artist, they say, for instance, and you have your stuff on there, you'd also be able to see how many people are watching your film. So then there's that transparency, you know, as well at the end of the day. So yeah, we've put in some thought process into this. So yeah, in a few days, we'll officially announce it, and we'll also talk about it at the premiere too. So yeah, you're getting this exclusively the first time.
Exclusive, oh, exclusive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this exclusive snippets and the tidbits and everything that you have shared with us. I'm truly honored to have had you on this interview, and thank you for your time. And guys, like you've heard it, there is a lot more that is coming out from the camp of Mills Media, and we are excited for the future. And once you have said it that every year there's something coming out, we're just going to be looking forward to it. Yes, and it just creates that excitement that yes, this year I'm going to see something, next year I'm definitely going to see better, and it's only going to get better from here on. And so if you are watching this, you're an animator or you're interested in animation, and you've always been skeptical that there's no future for animation in Ghana, so let me just put my brushes aside, put my everything aside. No, don't do that. There is this alone. Yes, there is hope, and then Jesse should be your inspiration. If nothing at all is inspiration to you, just know that there is a reward in putting in the hard work, and you can definitely make it wherever you are. So thank you so much again, Jesse, for your time. Thank you for this interview. Guys, I'm going to be at the premiere on the 29th, and I hope to see you there as well. So grab your popcorn, your drinks, grab your family members, pull all of them to the National Theatre so that they can watch the exciting projects coming up. So I'll put the trailer at the end of the video, and then also any other links to their social media, and then also to the app. I will put it in the description box so you don't miss anything at all. So it's been great having you, and guys, watch out for the next.
Exciting.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you. Guys, I will see you in my next video. Keep it locked to AJ for Shorts. Bye.
Speed and excitement. Where dreams unfold on two wheels. Passion that defies limitation. All these dreams are built from scraps, and every day is a step towards the extraordinary. Faith and determination go hand in hand. This is the story of triumph, resilience, and the power of dreams. Rise, rise, rise.
Rising, 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 rising. In my Hastings. Yeah. Rise up, never lower your knees. Gotta rise up, make up who you be. Listen, rise up.